Hey guys, Action by Thought here. I'm Chris. Um, just one little tidbit this morning. So right now, uh, if you're familiar with the Bible at all, we all know the scripture that before the full out end of time, every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is King of Kings, Lord of Lords. I wonder how many people have actually considered the true impact of that, and partially there it is so critical in our Bible studies to understand some history as well. I mean, part of the Bible, I certainly don't want to limit the Old Testament all to a history lesson, although it absolutely is that. But combined with that, there is some historical elements that are very crucial at times to understand, and this is one of them. I know in Hebrews, Paul writes that at some point, every knee will bow, every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord. Well, think about this. Today, even in that basic region of the world, in the Middle East, and I say basic to some folks that know geography better than I do, it may not be that region at all, but in that Asia, in that area, and I do apologize that, I'm sitting here talking about history and knowing it, and I don't know that part very well. Bad on me. But there are Christians being beheaded today. I don't mean today, but in our time frame, in my lifetime, for being Christian. They're being killed because they're Christian. Now, let's back that up a bit. When Paul wrote Hebrews, in the Roman Empire, which he was part of, matter of fact, he was one of the ones persecuting Christians before his conversion on the Damascus Road, to take a knee and bow to a king other than the king on the physical throne that was in the king's palace there in Rome, that was a beheading offense. So for Paul to write that in the book that in the book of Hebrews in the Bible, for that time frame, for Paul to write that, and he knew as well or better than anybody, because he was one of the people commissioned, I guess, to do the persecution, or at least be involved in, whether he actually did the killing or not. He knew, because what is the word I'm looking for? Not interpret, but he followed through with the law. He carried out that's a term. He carried it out in Rome in biblical days to bow down to a king other than the man sitting on the throne in the palace, in the king's palace, was a killing offense. And in that day, Paul writes that every knee will bow, every tongue will confess. Every knee will bow to Jesus, every tongue will say that Jesus is King, Jesus is Lord. There's a lot more to that than just every knee will bow. It gets deep, and it gets deep fast. It's a beautiful deep. But we really need to try to work toward understanding deeper meanings than just reading. Reading is better than nothing. Till next one, fellas.